So this week we worked on the RPC client and server. So let's first look at what is going on with the server. So there's this method called the provider app. All it's going to do is start listening on port 4444, and it is going to be looking for clients are connecting to it. When it finds a new client, it's going to add a new client ID, and then it is going to start a new server thread. The new server thread will do as it was doing in our previous example of a client server, where it looks for time. It sees time, it's going to print out the current time. This is handled here, where we check for the time, and then we handle it properly. If it's not time, it's going to take the string and capitalize it. And if it's not that, and it's just an empty value, then we are going to close the client socket and stop communications with it. So let's quickly look at what this response stuff is. We go here, response, we just have a basic interface that gives us examples of what we're going to potentially need to implement in the backend. Then we step over here and we can see the actual implementations. Here is where we print off the client number. Here's where we capitalize the string. Here's where we format the current date time response. And as I said, that's all used right here. That's this response capitalized string for the capitalized response time string, all that. Now let's jump over to the client code. First, let's go look at the consumer app. Here, we're just accepting an IP address. And this calls a request. So here's that request. The request is the implementation of the client program. Here, we take the given IP address, set up the new socket, ask for information, pass over to the server, and print our results from the server, and also close our connections. We also added some more error handling and some error messages for troubleshooting. What's important to note is this generate server request. This is what handles the communication between the client and server. This makes sure that the request is the same type of string RPC request. This needs to match on both the client and server for it to be running properly. Here's that implementation. We have setter, a getter for our string values, and a setter and a getter for the method that we're attempting to call on the server. And we have a serial version ID. We'll quickly jump back over and show that that's the same on the server. As we can see, it's pretty much a direct copy. All right, so now we can get into running the code. This has previously been compiled. So we're going to first start with the server. Server is running. There's our little message. Now we can run our client code. We are going to paste in the IP address that we received from the server, which is that. And as we can see, we are client number one. We'll open up another communication just to show that we can have multiple clients connected to the server. We paste in the same IP address, and we are client number two. So here we're going to say hello. Gives us back hello. Here we're going to say hello as well. Here we're going to say help. And we'll jump back over here and we'll say help as well. Now we're going to say time. We get our time response. We're going to say time. We get a different time response as time has changed. You can see. Now I'm going to go back over here, type nothing, ends our client. As we can see, socket is closed for the client, server is still running. Over here, everything's still running perfectly fine. Now we'll enter nothing in and end this client. We can go over here, see the socket's closed and server is still running. So that's it.